Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft again. Thanks for joining me. Today I thought we'd do, how about I get it out? It's my little prototype. Thought I'd do a journal for your journal. I've done this as a little Christmas one because let's face it, it's that time of the year. It can be done, of course, in any theme that you like, but we're just all starting to get Christmassy. It's starting to hit. It's getting there with me, finally. I didn't think I'd get Christmassy this year, but it's starting, so everything at the moment is Christmas. I'm hoping to have one more next week as well. This is just a little mini album to go as a tuck spot in your journal. So it's nice and thin. What I've actually used are playing cards for my base. Okay, I've just got one signature in it, and I've actually sewn a signature. I never sew signatures. I never do signatures. I do altered books normally. So I've got out my paper and I've sewed my signature and used playing cards as front and back, which we will go through. But I'll just give you a walkthrough, flip through, more than a walkthrough of my little album. So just little tags, little journaling posies. It's up to you how much you do as extras or whether you just do it all as journaling. So it's just got a little special book inside a book as such. So all of these are just little tuck spots. More tags, again, more and more. Okay. Right up to our back. So I've popped a pocket more or less on every page. Makes it a little bit thicker. If you just want to do it all as a journal one, by all means. But it's so quick and easy. And they're just cute. Look, you could do it with a Merry Christmas on the front and give it to somebody as a gift card, as a Christmas card. It would do the same sort of thing. So what we're going to do is, with our signature to start with, I've used coffee dyed paper. Now, let me just grab some. Here we go. All right, just sheets of coffee dyed paper. I've then cut them. See, I stopped to do something else a minute ago and now I've rearranged myself. So here's one I prepared earlier. They are literally 12 centimetres or 4 3/4 inches by about 8 centimetres or 3 1/8 of an inch. They've just been trimmed. I tend to do all my dyed paper in about A5 size sheets because I normally do altered books, so I don't need them for full signatures. So all of mine are small and easily managed. I've then just trimmed them down. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 strips. That's all. You can put as many or as little as you like. If you want to do this as a wider one, by all means, put a couple of signatures in. As I said, I've got 4 strips of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I have. I've then folded it in half, scored it with my bone scorer just to give it a nice sharp crease, and sewn with my sewing machine straight down the centre. And I've just used a cream thread for that. Not overly sexy, but it's there. So there's my little book to start with, my little signatures. And I'm just going to sit them aside while we work on our cards. My playing cards are just a normal pack, but I sand mine down with just, sanding sponge, sandpaper, whatever else. Just normal sandpaper if you don't want to go to the hassle of getting the sanding sponges. But I've got to admit, I had to grab a couple more for my daughter for an art project the other day. Mine I'd had hanging around for ages. And they were only a couple of dollars at a hardware store. So they're not overly expensive. They're handy just to have for so many different reasons. I just give my playing cards a bit of a scuff with sandpaper because it allows my glue to adhere, to catch on to things properly, so that they don't have that shiny surface. I'm gluing both sides of mine, which is why they're both sanded. So they're my 2 cards ready to go. I've got book paper. Now, you know when you get a whole pile of book paper and you've got pages in there where there's no writing, or those front pages of the books, they're nice and clear, nice and plain. I've been working with glitter. Look at that. Nice and clear, nice and plain, and I love them for stamping, for giving that background. There's such a nice feel. I love the feel of book pages, and they're usually a really good colour, so I don't have to worry about colouring them or anything else. So I quite often keep those separate to the rest of my normal scripted book pages. That's what I'm going to be using, and that's what I've used for the cover and the back of this one, and then I've stamped onto them. This is a Tim Holtz stamp. Here it is. It's a rubber backed stamp. COM025, I think, is the code for it. So that's that one. The one on the back is a Darkroom door stamp, and I will find him later. I love my Darkroom door stamps, and that's what I'm going to pop on the front for this one. So the front for this one is a Darkroom door stamp, and the stamp I'm using is this one from Yuletide Volume 2, DDRS032, but I will put that in my description as well. They're an Australian company. They do the most wonderful, they don't come like this in tins anymore. They come in DVD cases, which makes them so much easier to see as well. They're always very well done. You get beautiful impressions from them. I love her stamps, and I've been using them for years and years and years. So that's the Santa I'm going to be putting on the front this time. Now I'm just going to be stamping in, here we go, sepia. So normally, if you follow me, I tend to use my archival inks, for the Ranger archival inks, for general stamping. The colour I'm using this time is sepia. So I just pop my very well used foam mat down so that my stamp has something to really go into. I tend to also like to stamp sideways, so I'll just ink that one up. Always take your ink pad to your stamp, go backwards and forwards. Don't scrub across, because you'll lose all this very fine print in your stamp. Okay, so stamping him, middle finger, thumb, pointer fingers for pressure, giving myself a bit of room, top and bottom, so that I can even it up onto my playing card. Now, I could have stuck my paper to my playing card in the first place. Just give him a really good push, because he is a solid stamp, and I want all that air to escape out so that I get all my detail. I could have stuck my paper to my cards in the first place, but if I'd then misstamped and had to redo it again, I would have lost my playing cards as well. They're a dime a dozen, I know, but I'd gone to the trouble of sanding them this way. There's my stamp, and I can adhere him onto it. My back, I'm going to stamp him as well at the same time, and I'm using a wooden block stamp this time. It's just a basic Merry Christmas, not basic, it's got lots of wording and all the rest. This is a Stamp It. Again, another Australian company. Can't tell I'm from Australia. Love some of their stamp companies, and I have a horrible feeling that Stamp It are no longer. They've been around forever. 2007 this stamp was, and I think I got it new when it came out. Doesn't look like I've used it much, but I have. I actually cleaned this one. So his name is Christmas Round. 3681F is his code. So I can turn him up the other way, and I'm just going to stamp him onto this one as well. So again, I'll ink my stamp up. Again, taking my ink pad to the stamp. Bang, bang, bang. All right. And down. Following my wording around. Don't take both hands off the stamp at the one time, which means it'll stop it from blurring. A little bit of a rock. And there he is. Pop them to the side. Put up. Move that somewhere. I've got so much mess on my desk and I promised myself I'd clean it up. All right. So what we'll do now is adhere these to the front of the cards. Got a bit of book paper to go on to, just with my glue stick. Now with these, because they're on the front and they get lots of use, hopefully, what I do is I glue stick, but then I also run a bead of my wet glue, which is more adhesive, right around the edges. So my glue stick first, and then this one. Now I didn't actually check, piece of scrap, to see if he's coming out. Yep, he is, beautiful. And then just this one along the edges, preferably all of it, just to give him a little bit more adhesion, and down this way as well. All right. Now, give you a trick. I want him to go on even on there. So if I hold him up, my light, which is above my phone, taking this, I can see through my paper. I don't know if you can see through the paper, but I can see through the paper. So what I can do is match him up. So I can see top and bottom. I've got about a couple of mil either side to there. And then you keep everything crossed that you're on straight. I'm thinking that that's pretty good. We won't know until we cut it out. So one's down, give him a bit of a push, make sure we're right into our corners. And so, and then we'll do the same with our other one, exactly the same way, and then our fronts and our backs are just about done. I'm hoping we're not going to take too long, but I'm warning you now, girls. I reckon this will be a long video. I reckon this will be back up to my normal hourly ones. I can't help myself. They just keep going and going and going. Now, this one I know just fits my card, but top and bottom doesn't. So if I line him up with that, that's looking pretty good. I can see my card through that. Don't know if you can see through that. But because of my light, yep, I can see through that. Which is why I like to have some bright light just above my desk that angles in, because most times I can see through my papers. Right, so they're there and they're drying. What I want to do is on the other side of those, I'm just going to put some book page. Now, it's just normal book page. But it's tea dyed, so it's just slightly lighter. It's actually the same book page that I'm using for my scrap. That was his colour, and he's too white for me. I will quite often then just ink around, but to save time today, save time, as if I save time, I'm using the tea dyed one. So I'll just quickly trim around these. Going around my edges. I'm forever trying to work out different things to use my playing cards for, and they make beautiful bases. I've used them quite a bit for journal cards because they make that nice heavy base. When I was playing with these again at the start of this week, I thought, oh, they'll make a good little booklet as well. So, and they did. They were nice and sturdy for that. And around a corner. Oh, trimmed it up. Beautiful. Sit you down there, do you. And actually, when I was doing this earlier, I was getting prepared. I've come to the conclusion that I can't get prepared. I try and sort myself out prior to doing the video and get everything ready so that I've got each page worked out and all the rest. I'm not a planner. Friends that know me know that I'm not a planner. I wing everything. I try so hard, but I'm just not a planner. So I've got a couple of pages pre-worked out in my head, and the rest, I'll just wing it. Because the more I look, the more I started getting them sorted out, and all I wanted to do was do them, which doesn't make any sense. Right, so that's the backing of my paper. I needed my glue bit again. So now I'm just going to do the other side. Now this one I'll do the same thing just to give it a bit more adhesion, but I'm just going in a little bit further as well with this one because my book in itself, or my signature, will actually be attached to this. So I need it nice and sturdy, and that way it's not going to pull off. Right, so you're my back, which means when I open it up, that will be showing. It should be that one. So I'm just going to stick that one down there. Stick him nicely on that so he's done front and back. Find my cloth again because I'm getting so inky it's not funny. And then with this one, same thing. Okay, a little bit of glue. Very little bit of glue. Get rid of that because that's now getting so gluey. I'm just going to end up in big trouble with it. Little bit of white glue, or just your wet glue. Lots of different ones out there that you can use. Mine is an Express It brand one. Art glitter glue is a good one. There are lots and lots of different white glues. Play around until you find one that works for you. Doesn't have to be the same as what everybody else is using. All right, that one's going to go in there. A little bit of room to trim off as I go there. Take him right down to the bottom to save me trimming there. And push him down. All right, trim around that. Technically I should wait, I know, to make sure that they're all glued on properly and the glue has stuck, but as I said, I'm not a planner. Once I've thought of it, I want to just do it. Oh, it'd be so nice to be one like that, where I could plan. It's not going to happen. So just, I am what I am, and I always will be. It's not going to change now this late in life. See, he hasn't stuck at all. So, while I'm cutting this out, how's everybody today? Hope you're all having a good weekend. Well, it's weekend here, it's Saturday here. I'm late doing my video today. It's been one of those days. Had so many intentions and all the rest, but I like to wait until the house is just about empty so that there's no noise. And I had nobody working today. I've got teenage children. They usually head out to work. Nobody had work today, so I had to wait until they just went to do their other bits and pieces that they want to do so that the house is just me and quiet. The dogs that are barking are obviously barking from out the back because I've got the back door wide open. So that just needs trimming off. We've got a dog, but yep, she's sound asleep. I've just turned around. She usually sits in the office with me as well. Right. Lovely dovely. That's my back. Yes, so I'll just see all that. So I'll just give them and I can't help myself. I still need to ink. So all I'm using now is distressed ink in the brushed corduroy. And I like to just put, it's like finger marks, just dirty edges around. So I'm not doing the whole thing. I just want to put those edges around. And I will do that front and back with both pieces. So it's just a little bit rough, doesn't need to be even or anything else. I'm just scrunching it up a little bit, just so that it's got that. It's still drying. Oh well, it'll be dry by the time I go to use it, once we've done our little book. I didn't look at the time today, girls. Sorry for when I actually started. Round about, yep, okay. I had to go and put a little clock at my desk to try and keep me on track, because I talk too much and I get off into my own little world, and away I go, and before I know it, I'm partway through a project and I've taken an hour. So this time I've gone into my walnut stain. My word, those dogs are loud. I've gone into my walnut stain, which will give me just a deep, deep one. And what I like to do is just pop it along the edge, just to make that edge really stand out. Again, front and back. I found with my coffee dyed papers, and I really like my coffee dyed papers, they have an edge where the coffee obviously sits on, and look, everybody out there might already know this. For me, it was like a wow moment, and they tend to give a little bit of an edge, which looks like this anyway. But when I've cut them, I only get them, of course, where that edge has been. Here we go. So you can see. Oh no, I've already inked this one. Let's find another one. Here we go. Here's a piece that I've got left over. So you can see where it was originally on the edge. Can you see how deep this is on the edge? These are the cut pieces. So if I just scrape my blending tool with my walnut stain just on the edge, what it does, I'll leave that end, is give that edge all the way around. So you can see where it was cut now, and you can see where the rest of this natural look was. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. The same look all the way around, which I think I've done while I've been talking. Right, so there's my front and my back. And they will sit like so. What I'll do now is go on to my signature, because I've only got the one, and we'll start to decorate it. Now, for me with this book, what we're going to do, this first page will actually be glued in here. So, and the last page will be glued onto that one, which makes my little book. There are lots of other ways. You could put little bits of ribbon through here which holds it all together, washi tape, all the rest. But for me, all I'm doing is gluing that one to that one, so that when they open, so he's been glued to that front page and he's been glued to the back page. So the rest of it, and it's, look, it's really nice and sturdy. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I don't need to do my front one, and I don't need to do my back one. What we're going to do is decorate, if I can undo it, and make a little book. And as I said, I like lots of pockets and all the rest. Oh, I didn't get any water. Yes, I did. Hang on. Got a little water cup here. I've got my misting bottle. Now, if I don't make too much mess, let's just tip a little bit of water. Look at that. Into that one. Do it up so I don't tip it over. And what I want to do for this one, oh, I got some new serviettes the other day. Now, if only I knew what I'd done with them. Here we go. And I really like this. So for a journaling posie, now it's just water in a brush, And I'm just going to lightly go around, which will just make it, the fibres of the serviette start to give up on themselves. I don't think that's right. But it'll mean that it'll tear easier. Okay, so it'll just come through. And from there, if I want, I can take more pieces out. So that I've just got this snowflake. I've got glue on my hands, I can still feel it. That one went everywhere. Right. So all I'm going to do with this one, I've got so much glue on my hands. Mop up the water from there, put that water away, get a glue sheet, but another one because the other one had glue all over it. Now with this one, I'm just going to pop some of my glue stick onto and hope I don't tear it. As I said, it was a new one that I've just got, this serviette, so I haven't worked with him before, so I don't know how well he's gonna tear. Ooh, not on the front page. Go over. And just stick him down. Right. I'll do this page with these. What I normally do then is my journaling lines. Now I can use a stamp, I can use a stencil. For something this small, I tend to just sit the book on my grid and work in my, now each of my lines, this is the Tim Holtz Tonic craft mat, glass mat, mixed media one, and each of these lines is in 1/4 of an inch, and they work really well for journaling. So I've got my book straight, I've got my ruler fairly straight, and it means that I can pop journaling in so that it goes around my serviette. I'm just going to move that down so that I've got something with my ruler so that I can lift it up from the edges as I go. And that way, yep, there we go, just like that. Just like that. She cried. Okay. Normally these would be straight. They would look lovely and all the rest. These don't look overly straight at the moment, but you get the gist of what we're doing. For the other journaling pages, I won't do this while we're doing the video. You've got the idea and you know how it's done now anyway, and you can keep going with them on your own. Or you might like to just leave the full page for unlined. I tend to like lining mine so that I know when I go back through that it was meant to be a journal one. Otherwise, I tend to finish an album and then I go back and look at it and go, oh, blank page, quick, put something there. So if I've got my journaling lines on there, I know what was in my head and that I was planning on doing. So there's my first little one with my snowflake. So just get rid of that. So with this one, we might just, that's glue. I've got glue all over me. Look at it. Oh, yucky, yucky. All right, so we might put in a little pocket here. Now, and this is why I kept all these. These were all the little bits of coffee dyed paper from those sheets when I cut these out. They are perfectly sized, go that way, to fit in here. Got a pencil somewhere, there it is. Make him so that he's about that size. Trim him up. Sorry guys, this will be noisy. Just straight down. And do you know I cut these off and then I keep them. I shouldn't keep them, but I keep them. You never know what you could do with that. That's bad. You know you've got it bad when you do things like that. Right, so I just want to make those lines in there the same way as the rest of my coffee dyed. And that way I've then got a little pocket in here. But I can't just put on a plain pocket, can I? No, that would be just too hard. So, let's have a look. Again, darkroom door one. I believe should fit on that. Now, let's see if it's straight. Give you a hint. Give you a hint. I'm forever saying that. Got to stop that. So with this stamp, these are my lines. If I line these lines up with one of the lines on my acrylic blocks, he's there. So back to my sepia. These ones were good, these stamps, because they gave a mottled effect. Anyway, so if you miss-stamp, you can't really tell. So they're always a really good one to have. Or if you've got a good stamp that occasionally goes miss-stamps, just tell yourself that it was meant to be a mottled one anyway. So straight down, middle fingers, pointer fingers, a little bit of a rock, and there he is. So he can now be stuck down. And we just want the three sides. Straight through. So are we all starting to feel like Christmas? Or are we just hanging out to wait and see what happens for the rest of the year? Okay. Down, line him up. Lovely cloth. I think that one needs changing again. I'm changing these nearly every week at the moment. And I thought if I had dark blue cloths, I wouldn't see all my mess on them, but this is just atrocious, this one. Been playing with too many inks this week. Right, so now I've got a little pocket in there. I need, let's go that. I actually want him. Now that's another stamp. Again, the Stamp It stamps, and it's just a little joy. Just a little joy. How sweet's that? You can, you know me, sorry girls, but yeah, I play with stamps so many times because I can just do whatever I want with them and change them to so many different ways. So into this one. Trim him off. Tuck him in. Give him a bit of an edge with that darker, back as in with my walnut stain, which then makes him really pop on the page. You can journal on the back of your tag. Oh, here's, what did I do with the real one? Here it is. In here, this one. Right, see this little tag? Watch where I put the journal, and it just looks like a tag, but I've popped my journaling lines in there so that you don't see them. So somebody could write something close to their heart or whatever else, but when that tag's in, it's all hidden. So it's a hidden journaling, that one. So you could do the same with this one. You work out where your tag sits, and then you do your lines from there. I want to put. There we go. So just a single circle punch, round about the middle. You can line it all up, or you can just punch. And I'll go a little bit of ribbon. Chop him off, work him out later on. Got to have bits and pieces that stick out and all the rest, I think. Anyway, I like mine all messy, sticking out, bits and pieces everywhere, but that's just me. Each to their own. This is where you realise your fingers are too big, or they don't work properly and you can't get them through. Right. I tend to put all mine in and then go back and work out where I need to cut these off to. So there we go, one quick page. Turning him over, we'll do another one. What will we do with this one? Let's do, oh, I know what I want. I had a punch. I had a border punch. There we go. Had it for years. I think the brand was Sullivan's. And it just gives this. So, bits and pieces sitting around here everywhere. So it's just it's actually a piece of scrapbook paper, double-sided scrapbook paper. But it was Christmassy type thing anyway. But it had lovely different coloured greens all through it. So, let's have a look at this. And yes, I know that's going to be noisy. I don't know if you can see that properly. When you're using a border punch, line it up. Most of them are exactly the same. So that, let's see your pattern here to your pattern there, so that all you'll see is your silver. And what will happen is that you'll then get this line. For this one, that's all I need, which is in here. I might actually have you on that side. Right, so I'll just trim down from there, because then I can work out my sizing. So I'll just take it straight down where it's finished there, and back over to this side. Line it up with one of the lines on my grid for my guillotine, and take it down there, so that now what I've got is my border. Don't lose them, Kylie. And let's put the lid on that one. All right, so now I can see how far out I want to come with this one. This works beautifully in here to in here. If you're worried about the rest of your book sitting under there, take out one page and fold the rest over. Then you're only looking at the single page and not all the others that are sitting there if they're not quite even. So I want to go to about there. Again with my pencil. So I'm going to go into that one and I'm going to trim him about there. There are probably measurements, but I tend to do everything that way and mark them each to my page each time. So back to my little guillotine, and I think it was there. I may have put a pencil mark, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I can see it. And I know there's one here. There it is. I'll go that way so that it's got something even to sit onto. Finding it. There it is. All right. Sitting, making sure he's even. And down. Look at that. Awesome. If your pencil mark is still there, by all means, rub it out. But that is only if you can find your rubber. There it is. Look, if I couldn't see it to cut it, very few chances are that I'm going to actually see it once it's in the book. But I know it's there. That's all that matters. Right. A little bit of ink around there because I just can't not. Again, my glue will just go in here. I've really got to learn to put that lid back on that glue. And I'm going to turn this one in to a tuck. And that's why I've trimmed it further off with some extra paper at the bottom of the punched line. Now, I came across the other day, there we go, just going to wipe you and put you back on there because otherwise that's going to just give me grief later on. I came across the other day some graphic fairy. I wasn't in there, was I? It's that one. Now I'm taking it a little bit out from the centre spine, just so that it's got closing room and it doesn't get too bulky right in the spine. Back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Graphic Fairy. I came across the other day some Graphic Fairy Christmas printout ones that were just awesome. That were these. Just digitals to print out. They were actually in their freebie ones, but they're just the most beautiful Christmas tags. So I was playing around with one, and he's going to tuck in there beautifully if I can find him. Here he is. That's him. So I've just cut him out, and I've stuck him on some cardstock just in the cream, because I've just printed them out on normal copy paper. I was actually at work and used the work printer. It was my lunch hour, but they just make the most beautiful little tags. You could journal on the back of that. You could put your journal bits on the back of that, all sorts of things. But how's that, if that works? Yep. How's that for a very quick and easy, now I want her face. There we go, there's her face. For a very quick and easy little page. Awesome. Right. What do I want on this page? I could just leave that as a journaling one, and let's just do that. But I've got, here we go, and we'll just pop a Christmas stamp on there. Now, this again is a stamp, and it comes with 4 little Christmas stamps on it, and I've just stamped them all off different colours, and I just have strips on my table. Some of them I've gone over then with an antique linen distress ink. Some of them are left plain, so I've done a brown, a grey and a green, and I've just got those always sitting there for when I want to use them. Cut around him with some just decorative scissors, just the cheapy kids decorative scissors, and he's in that little wave, which is perfect for stamps. And then I've popped just a little bit of glitter on him. These have just been things that I've been playing around with that are sitting on my desk. So he will work a treat on that side. A little bit of glue. And then it's up to you whether you put journaling lines around him or whether you just leave him as is. So how's that for a quick page? So we've got 2 done. Into this one, I like my little ones down here. So more of these little coffee strips, and I've got them sitting everywhere. Make sure they're about the same. See what I mean? I have lots of them sitting around because they're just so handy. So because I'm lazy, I'll find 2 that are the same width. There you go. Oh, we'll go those ones. So 2 that are the same width, and I'll do a double page with them. So I'll go that way because I've already got my coffee edge bit there and there. I want to take him to about there for that one. And this one, find where my coffee edge is, and I want to take you to about there. All right, so we'll trim those ones up. Still got that in there from last time. We'll get rid of that one. So I've got this one. I could do them together, but I'm telling you now, my pages aren't going to be the same on both sides, so that would just defeat the purpose. That one and that one, and again, 2 more little bits that I can use for something else. Oh, I'm terrible. Okay. So where I've trimmed that, I just need to pop that in, and that one needs across there and down there. So hopefully They will fit. And that will fit. Yep, I want a stamp on that one. Here we go. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And yes, it is. Another one. This is an old, very old wooden stamp made in Tasmania, which is a state of Australia, for those of you that are not Australian. It's just because they're a wooden stamp doesn't, and you know, it's an old wooden stamp. They weren't wonderfully done. So it didn't necessarily mean that the stamp was in the exact same place that the little diagram was on the top. What I do with mine is I will put my ruler against it so that it's even and make a mark. Do the same down here. Bring my ruler up and do that on both sides so that I know that this is actually more here. So that when I'm stamping something like this, it gets air under it every now and again and moves on me. So that when I'm stamping something like this, I know I need to go, that those lines are going to be where my stamp is. So if I line that up with that for my paper, I can't actually see where my paper is, and I've got one eye closed just to help, because let's face it, it helps. There we go. So there's one of them. Somebody's now started the lawnmower outside. Wondering if I can get my daughter to actually go and close that back door, because he's quite loud now. I think it's our neighbour. He was saying earlier that he was going to do the edges, because he does our edges out the front as well, so I really shouldn't complain. Which means that he won't be out there that long. By the time I find my daughter to go and actually do that, he'll be finished, I reckon. Right, there's one. And we need something on this one. Do I want another stamp? Oh, I always want stamps. Oh, I was going to use some of that. We'll do that on another page, because there are lots more pages. Oh, and I wanted to use some of that too. Let's have a look, let's have a look. Really needs to be another stamp to match up with that. I've got that. May the spirit of Christmas warm your heart. If I use the top part of that one, I don't need all the stamp, just this little one. He will sit in there beautifully. Now again, I want it to finish across there. So let's just do what I was just saying about just then. That's where he's going to finish, so you can see what I'm talking about. Get my black pen. Yep. Oh, just put my arm in my glue. And he's about there. Does this make sense? And he's about there. Right, turn him over. Line my ruler up with my marking. Take it across there so that I can see it from the top. Do the same on this side. Oh, I didn't even do any of it on that side, did I? Right. Doing him again. Doing that side. And that should show me that this guy finishes about there. And that's why I'm rubbing it off. I've got the wrong pen. It's just a normal journaling pen. So we'll move that one out of the way. We'll get this one. I'll get this one. He should fit. Yes, he will. So I want to ink this guy up, but I don't want the rest of it. So taking my ink pad to my stamp, and I'm just going to slowly work my way down so that I've covered just the part that I want. I could have, if I wanted to, another way of doing it, sit a piece of scrap paper just on the rest of that stamp if you're concerned about not being able to do it, and then you can do that. Okay, and then you've missed the rest. Sitting him on, I can see where my lines are. I want to go up there. Oh, how about we get my stamping mat to start with. Just re-ink that little bit again, because I've fiddled around a little bit. Right. Now I know I'm going there. I'm going there. Again, one eye closed, tongue crossed. Let's have a look and see what we've got. It is only paper. If I've mucked it up, there you go. And that's how you do that. Right. So, you can see the difference in the quality of the stamps. This is a very old stamp, and this is a proper red rubber stamp with foam under it. So you can see the difference in the quality of the stamps. It always makes that difference depending on the stamp that you're using. So again, I need to make sure I'm up the right way. Gluing around here and down. I haven't got much glue coming out, Kylie. That's because I keep forgetting to actually close the lid. Down onto that one. And down onto that one. Match him up. All right, so I've got that gap between so that there's not too much in my actual spine. Okay. All right. It's always wise to go back and have a look and pat yourself on the back that you've achieved something. We've got that one, this one, this one, and now we just need a couple of little tags for those ones. So let's have a look. Got a pile of papers here. Just put the lid on the glue while you're fluffing around doing something else. All right. I actually quite like that. Let's have a look. I reckon if I go about that width, that should fit in there. Yep, if we want a width, it is not quite 1.5 inches, a bit over 3.5 centimetres. Right, so he'll fit. I'm going to chop him off, put that one back over there, and I'll chop him off round about there. And then I'll check to see how I'm going for my height. Yep, he will work. So I'll chop my other one about the same. Like that. To about there. I've got the two of those now done. Instead of just doing tag shapes, we might... Has anybody seen my corner rounder? Oh my God, I actually put it away. Look at that. That's strange because that never happens. So what I've done with this one is just a straight little, instead of the tag shape, you could go a tag shape, you could go anything. You could just round one corner, which looks really nice as well. So I'll just ink around the edges. See, I didn't need to call out to my daughter and holler and scream out to her down the other end of the house because he's finished. I hope you've been able to hear me round him. Right, so that one. Now I find with these ones, because what they are just an old paper pad, 6 by 6 inch paper pad that I've just got lots of, and I tend to just pull out from there. They're great sizes for my journals. But on the other side, they're stark white. Now I could cover them, or I can just very lightly and very quickly go over them with my antique linen in my distress ink and just scruff them up a little bit. Oh, this so needs replacing. It's so worn. Oh, look at it. Yeah. There's a little bit in there. So need to replace that. Must need to get onto that. Right. So what it does is just takes that starkness away. If your ink pad is nice and juicy, it won't take as long. Mine is getting very dry because I tend to use sitting above my mat all the time. They never move. Is antique linen, brushed corduroy and walnut stain. And I use them for everything. Anything I do, I just pick those ones up. Every now and again, I'll surprise myself and go back to a colour. I love my distress inks, and I've got all of them, but these are the 3 that I tend to use. So I'm just going to rough up my edges again with like finger marks like I did before with my script book pages. Getting an awful lot of glue marks on these. And then I'll go into my 3rd colour and just give it that deep. And all I'm doing is patting the edge. Don't run it straight down because all you'll do is cut across the foam. Whether you're using a makeup sponge, blending tool, whatever, paper will cut it. So you don't want to ruin your foam. Okay, right, so that's those 3 already done. Those 3, 2 even. And I'll find pretty colour. Now, if you've got more time, you could stamp on the back of that, make that a pretty pattern as well. Right, so we're halfway through. Woohoo! Once I've done this, it won't take that long. For this one, this is the one that I'd worked out what I wanted to do. I know, and then I kept thinking, no, I can't work any more out. So with this one, again, I had some serviettes. I had somewhere beautiful little stamp done before too. And this is what I get for moving things around. So we'll do another one of those and I'll show you what I mean with it. Right, with this one, I love this serviette. And I want to make a full side pocket. So I've got a piece of just very lightweight cardstock. Don't want it too heavy because I don't want to add too much thickness to this anyway. It's already fairly thick. So I've measured him out so that he will fit this guy. Move him over so that he'll fit this side. Again, with that little bit of a gap to the spine. And I want to stick him onto my serviette. So we'll grab my glue stick again and just completely cover this. So you can see it's a very lightweight one because it's curling it straight away. Put you over. Again, I'll work sideways. Oh, and it's so much glue on my fingers. And I want this piece. So I don't want too much of the rest. And I'm hoping that I'm straight, because if I'm not, there'll be nothing I can do about it now. You can see how it's curling because it is a very lightweight cardstock. It will flatten, and once it's in your little mini album or a larger one, if you're doing a larger one, it will flatten out. But, so that's just beautiful. That is such a beautiful little print. Now I could sand the edges of this, and you just sand them down, which takes that straight off. Okay, usually better with a thicker weight cardstock underneath it, but I just want to show you a difference in getting your serviettes off the edge. Because they're so light, they just sand and it gives that beautiful smooth finish. As he's still really wet, now I might use my small scissors and go around. I could use my trimmer. I could use the water brush and just tear my sides if I wanted a rougher looking edge. And straight across there. I think my scissors might need a sharpening or a clean as well. Right, down. Oh, I think my glasses might need a clean as well. God, if it's not one thing, it's another. Here we go. All right, move you to the side. Now, as I want this one as a full pocket, I want to be able to put my little thumb hole in there as well. And I'll try and take it around that. Back with my walnut stain, just to give it that deeper edge in here. Like so. I can hear that mower or blower or whatever it was next door about to start up again, or he's trying to start it up. Okay, so that's that one, and he will stick straight in here to make a pocket. Isn't that beautiful, that serviette? Now, I'm going to go back later on after all this, and I'm going to put some glitter in amongst all of this as well, because that is just divine. Right, so I need to glue him down all three sides. How quick and easy was that one? Admittedly. Oh, see, there it goes. I just need a pin. Excuse my arm going across there. I've got a little makeup sponge with pins and needles sitting in it for all sorts of different bits and pieces, but it is further over, which means that I have to go in front of the camera each time I want to get to it, so sorry. Right, back down this way. Let's hope, yeah, here it comes. Here it is. And round, down our long side. Oh, a bit wonky. Listen to that scrape. Right. Rid of that one. Gluing him onto that. Now I'm trying to match it up with these corners, so. Oh, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. My yucky cloth. What I'll do, because I've got just the one page there, squizzle him in, move him up, if he hasn't dried already, and give him a push. Oh, look at that cloth. Yes, sorry, girls. I will get a better cloth. Promise. Right, go back to our start, which is here. So now we've made a little pocket. I have already cut out a little tag, and it's just, again, on some scrapbook paper, bit of heavier weight cardstock, and I've inked the back with the antique linen because it was stark white. I've made a little tab here. I find the easiest way to make these little tabs. Hang on. Oh, it's caught in. I've got some little stickers. I really want one of the punchers that make them. But, you know, down the track at some stage, but you make do with what you've got. Little stickers, and I tend to sit them on, trace around them, and then cut it to wherever I want him to be. It means that I can move them along and all the rest. As I said, a sticker, a punch would be so awesome, but, you know, not quite now. So just going around him and around this guy. And let's just make him, no, love this. It's postal one, and it's on, and it's on, and it's on. I'm coming back. Again, Darkroom door one. Christmas reindeer. It's got all of these, and I use these and these. Oh, and I'll show you what I did with that one in a minute. So let me just get this one done. I'll put him on a block. Let's just find a block. See, it takes me a good hour at the end of these just to put all my stamps back. Again, I'll just line up there. Back to my sepia, because I'm just doing it all in the one colour this time. You should fit, hopefully, and I probably should have checked that. It will. Look at that. Right, so he will fit across the top. Down like so. Like that. Let's then, with my journaling pen, sit you on there so that I can find a medium, go into the middle. So let's have a look again. All right, so this is my middle line. And I'll make a postcard. Now he will need to have postmark up here. So again, this is one of these little stamps out of this. Love these. So which one have I picked up? I don't know. It's one of them. We'll check out what it is in a moment. And I just literally sit him on. Just one half. And then this one, just sit him down. How's that? And now, didn't actually check he'd fit. Look at that. There we go. Done. Need something over here. We could just do him straight as a journaling posse again, but he might need something on him. What might he need on him? What have we got that we could put on that one? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, I know. That's what I was going to show you. With this stamp. If it's in here, it's back. All right, this is just a little Christmas wording. So it's a script. Believe, faith, hope, love, peace, etc., etc., etc. What I did with this the other week, if it's still here, it'll be here because I haven't cleaned up. Right. Piece of old scrapbook paper, so it's double-sided paper, but I really like this edge. You can see where I keep cutting it off from and all the rest. So it's an old Kaisercraft one. Love this Santa, but he's for something bigger. But with this, here we go. Took just a section, you know, it was probably from a section from up here. Turned it round and then just continuously stamped down it. So that now I've got my own script paper in the colours that I want, etc., and ready for Christmas. So what I might do is just stick him down there, go that way, and I might actually just do it as a section. How's that? Now that could be a tuck pocket if you wanted to tuck something else in. You could stick the whole thing down and put journaling beside it. You could do it smaller with journaling. So I'll just go around it with this. Oh, look, lace, it's everywhere. got ribbons, I've got all sorts of things. So just because he's torn doesn't mean that he can't be a little tuck pocket. So I'm just going to go around him with that instead of the glue stick. Oh, well, he should fit. He did fit a minute ago, didn't he? Oh, before I do that, do you know what I haven't done? Just given him an edge, especially my torn edge. Just a little bit, because let's face it, the rest is all done, so we'll just quickly go around that again. And down and around. Right, take two. So you can tell these are all just done in one take. Right. So. Alright, we've got those. So now, technically, it's just an area there that you can journal on, or if you like, you can tuck something in. We've got a couple of pages to go. Sorry, gals. Right, we'll do some quick ones. Okay, let's have a look. What have we put in the other one? Just lots of little tags and stuff. Let's do those. Oh, I know what I want to do. I'll do one of those ones. So, again, back to my strips of these. And, oh, so I can hear him again. There he is. We'll do one that way. Trim him off. Let's do a double one. So one this side. And we'll make him about that, which is to there. I don't know what he was. This one needs to be about the same. So once again, line him up with that one, because really I should have just cut both of them at the same time, but that would be too easy. Go in. And for this one, in there as well, which was there. Ah, I chopped off my nice coffee edge. Of course I did. Right, I'm going to close that lid while I'm not using him and tuck him out of the way. Wasn't those bits. It was those bits. Right, so I need to edge those ones again. I'm just doing the one side, and I want to brighten this one right up. So what we're going to do with this one is use some other ribbon. Now this is lightweight coffee dyed paper, which is just copy paper. Let me make some room over here. I'll move that down. Oh, sit you over there, and let's put some of this on. So what I want to do is I will use, so I just use the Helmar's 450 quick dry adhesive for when I'm doing fabrics or ribbons, etc. Make sure he's coming out, because I didn't check this one before. Or he's not. When all else fails, we can go back to the double-sided tape, but I would rather do this. Let's have a look at you. Now I picked this up last week or whenever it was and went, yep, I haven't touched that for ages, and it worked first up. So, but of course now it doesn't want to, does it? Oh, that is so gunked up. Ah, there he is. There he is. There he is. There he is, she cried. Right. So if I sit this on my grid again, and I will find my middle spot. See this? I can do, oh, that glue is now coming out everywhere. What I can do is rule a line down there, like so, so I can see where I need my glue to go. I use my grid for just about everything. I don't think these papers are actually straight, but that's all right. So now I can see where I need to go with my glue. Right, 2 bits. It's now gone everywhere. Shocker. Right. Straight down my line. Straight down my line. I love this glue, but it puts off strings like from a hot glue gun. Right. So now with my ribbon, and I'm going to do it a little bit longer so that I can trim off my edge. Holding it on one end, straight down, and then straightening him up. Same with this one. Onto there. And straight down. And then I can just trim those. But you can see what I mean about how the copy paper wants it to just adhere through. So you've just got to watch that, and it means that I always put it on before I've put it on into my album, my journal, etc., because I don't want it to go through my pages. And I want to do these ones as little tuck spots. I'll move all that glue. So my big pair of scissors this time. Trimming him up. Trimming that end up. And now I'm going to cut through here. Probably should have given that a little bit more room. What do you reckon? There we go. Lovely dovely. Right. So now these ones are just going to sit in here. Like so. 2 little tuck spots. Very quick and easy ones. Ready to just put some tags, etc., little journal cards, little mementos, Christmas mementos if it's for something else, all sorts of little tickets and bits and bobs and all the rest. The stuff that we like to pop in our journals as mementos and just all those sorts of things. I'm just rambling. Sorry, girls. Okay, guys. Stop rambling, Kylie. I've been on this for an hour and I need to just right now stop and put this whole thing together so that you don't want to run away screaming because I've taken so long. So you get the gist now of what we're doing with all of this. Tuck you in. I knew this was going to be a long one. I'm sorry. All right. Make sure there's no glue there. All right. So you get the gist, what we're doing with each of those. There's 2 more pages to go, really, but we won't worry about that. Okay, close that one. Sit you over. Grab, in our mess, our actual... Here we go. There's one. Where's the other one? I had 2. I did them at the start. There's the other one. Right, that's our back, which is going to sit in here like so. Now, with these ones, I do like to use my double-sided tape. So what I'm going to do is tape all the way around my edges. Right up to my stitching line. down. Oh, things going everywhere. I had so many ideas to show you for this, but it's obviously just gotten away from me again, sorry. So we might add them to the next one. I'm sorry. All right. So if you're still here and watching, I promise next week's will be a Christmas related one as well. So some of the ideas that I had to go in this one, we will pop in that one. And it's another little holder. So it'll hold, it'll go in your journals, or it'll go as a gift card holder to give somebody, whether it's Christmas or whatever else. So, all right, I'll do my other side while I'm here as well. Take him over. Straight up. I could tear them, but I find that I can never peel them back off again properly if they're torn and not in a straight edge, my double-sided tape. So just bear with me while I pop all this on. Get rid of that ribbon in a moment because I keep grabbing it every time. And a couple in here. And one more. And then give them all a really good hard push. Like so. Making sure you're the right way around. So that's my front, that's my back, because I haven't finished the back. Peeling all those off. I will put all these bits in the bin shortly, but you know, that's what my table's for, so it's just going to flick beside me. And then I will do a really big clean up because I just can't find anything. Right, open him out. Make sure you're the right way around, sitting him down, starting him here. So I've just got him there. I've now turned the whole thing upside down. Make sense? But that's just me because I'm a righty. If you're a lefty, you'll go the other way around. Going as close as I can to the edge. And even top and bottom. Now I'll lift him up and push all that down. There's our front cover. Doing the same with the back. Very quickly pulling all these guys off. Doing the same with the back. Making sure we're up the right way. He's going to go that way. Got my finger in there. If you find it's too hard with your double-sided tape, leave the backing on the top ones that you can take off later on, so that you're not trying to deal with it all at the one time. So this time what I'm doing is I'm matching my top card to my bottom card. That didn't work very well, did it? Right, it's because I'm rushing now. There he is, there he is, there he is, there he is. Right, done. Okay, what I did with my other one, just to jazz my front up again, 5 minutes, girls, and then we're all over. Right, just to jazz all my front up, I've got a pile of little snowflakes all punched out and cut out and all the rest. But I think with this one, I want some smaller ones maybe, because he's a bit too big. So do I have that size? And that size. Yes. Very quickly, here's my glue. Love glitter cardstock. It's Christmas. My glitter cardstock comes out every Christmas. I just can't get away from it. So just a little bit of glue. Setting that up here like so. Give him a quick push. And then my other one. Now I'm just going in the centre with the other one because it's got to go over the first one and I don't want to bend all my little snowflake bits. And in between that, right, to give it a little bit of extra oomph, there we go. Just the stickles. This is just the crystal one, so it tends to pick up everything that you're doing. So it has a little bit of a green tinge to it. When I'm using it, I use it, instead of putting full blobs down, I use it with a toothpick. And I just tend to squeeze a little bit out of the top. And it means that I can just put little bits wherever I want them to be on here. So I can just little bits and pieces and give it some smaller sections. If I wanted to, I could do his beard. With the first one, what I did with that stamp was just, so you can see how it's starting to just lift up. When it dries, you'll really see the green. So I went in the centre of the 3 snowflakes that were there. And then I went round the edge where it had this grungy effect. So can you see how that picks up the greens and all the rest that are in it? I love it. I love the stickles. I've been using it for years. And as I said, I tend to just do it that way so that I can see. And if I want to go on the edge, I can then just wipe it through. And it just gives that very light effect up along there. You get the effect now anyway, girls. I'll finish that off, put it on the thumbnail for this video. I'm so sorry this has taken so long. I should never do little mini albums. They always take longer. If you're still here and if you liked it, please don't forget to hit subscribe and like. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to, hit the notification bell and you'll see when all mine come up. I usually put them out every week, occasionally one in the middle of the week as well. But thanks for sticking with me today, girls. Sorry it was so long. Have a great one, guys. Bye.